I am the true lost daughter of the Montgomery family. When my biological father came to pick me up, I cried uncontrollably. It wasn't excitement, it was fear, because not only am I a mama's girl and a daddy's girl, but I'm also a sister's girl. In short, I really didn't know how I could survive without this family. I was picked up from a trash bin. My parents never hid this from me. After all, I don't look anything like anyone else in this family. My sister is smart and independent. While without my parents, I'm practically a national-level protected waste. Since childhood, my sister was always tall, surpassing 170 centimeters early on. At 22, I'm just a 155 centimeters little dwarf, and since high school, my height has never increased. At 18, just after finishing my college entrance exams, my parents mysteriously pulled me aside. "Sweetie, you're actually not our biological child." I calmly took a bite of a grape. I know, the one who was not calm was my mom. "What? Who's been gossiping to you?" I'll rip her tongue out. "Just guessed. You all are tall, I'm short, you all are smart, and I'm just average." Even with genetic mutations, it wouldn't be this off. My dad, holding my head, secretly wiped away tears. "In my heart, you'll always be my little princess. I know, we will always be a family. They treat me well, my sister treats me well. We will always be a family." My parents said I was picked up from a trash bin, in the harsh northern winters. It could be deadly outside, and there I was, covered only in a thin blanket, crying almost like a kitten. My sister heard my cries and picked me up, fed me milk. After keeping me for a night, she took me to an orphanage, but couldn't rest easy, so she arranged for my adoption. Thus, I became the youngest daughter of the Lincoln family, cherished and nurtured in the palm of their hands. I suppose I was the abandoned one, considering how many female infants died in trash bins and on ridges back in those days. But I was lucky. I met them. When my biological father found me, I was helping in a flower shop. After graduation, unable to find a suitable job, my sister funded a flower shop for me, right near our parents. As the doorbell and the glass door clashed, a man in a well-tailored suit entered. Although I wasn't familiar with the brand, I knew it was expensive. "What can I help you with? Are you Luna?" I nodded and sized him up. He seemed distinguished. "I am your biological father. My mom called me to come eat, and upon hearing this, insisted on taking us home." Once everything was explained, it seemed I really was their daughter, lost over 20 years ago. It turned out I was stolen by a nanny, and he said my biological mother missed me terribly, almost to the point of illness. When my sister found out, she wanted to fly back immediately, but my dad stopped her. Regarding the appearance of my biological parents, they weren't anxious at all, even encouraging me to spend more time with him. "He gave birth to you, we raised you, whether you acknowledge them or not doesn't matter. Everyone needs to discover their origins at least once in their life." They seemed to take it easy, but I wasn't happy at all. For so many years, I had assumed I was an abandoned child. Suddenly having biological parents appear made me feel quite bewildered. The DNA test results confirmed that I am indeed his biological daughter, but this only made me feel worse. What should I do? Can I choose not to go? I held Sweet in my arms, stroking the yellow fur on its forehead. It purred contentedly, just like a doll unraveling. My mother was packing my luggage, neatly folding each item and placing them into the suitcase. "They've been looking for you for many years." It wasn't easy. "Just go and have a look, your parents will be waiting at home." With tears in my eyes, I boarded the plane heading south. I didn't know how to address him, so I chose to remain silent. "Your mom prepared a lot of things for you, but she was afraid you wouldn't like them. She thought we could buy anything else you might need when you return." He wore glasses and looked somewhat like me. "Our family has been searching for you all these years. We missed you a lot." He kept talking, telling me about an older brother and a younger brother. But I didn't respond. It was only when I arrived home that I realized how large the family was. The most obvious was the delicate young girl next to him, their goddaughter. In my absence, she stayed by their side. She helped my biological mother come over to greet me. "It was so hard for Mom to find you." She hugged me and cried, and my eyes started to well up too. Perhaps it's the mother-daughter bond. She took my hand and showed me around the house, introducing me to the family members. Besides them, it seemed that my brothers didn't like me much. They held a celebration for my return. I wore a pink dress and interacted awkwardly. I finally found a corner to rest for a moment. Then I overheard someone speaking ill of me. "She can't compare to Wendy. It's like comparing heaven and earth." such a petty air about her. So what if she's the biological daughter? Wendy is the real lady of the Montgomery family. Don't say that, it's not her fault she was away for over 20 years. But after all, she grew up in the lower class, like a real country bumpkin. That was Wendy's voice. I recognized it. She giggled, her words cutting deep. My father said that enduring is one of life's lessons. Those foster parents of hers, probably bumpkins too, they say I can endure. But to speak of my parents, that's crossing the line. I grabbed a wine bottle from nearby and smashed it on Wendy's head. Her scream echoed throughout the room. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Say one more word about my parents, and I swear I'll kill you next time. Crazy, you're just crazy. Your foster parents must be crazy too. I grabbed her by the neck. I can handle a lot, but dare to insult my parents, and I'll strangle you. Don't you know I fiercely protect my own? I hurriedly took the microphone from the host. Since the Montgomery family already has a daughter, there's no need for this ancestral homecoming banquet. Everyone, please go home. My biological father grabbed me. But I couldn't break free, Mr. Montgomery. Since your family already has a daughter, perhaps you could give me back my sister. My sister, with her glamorous makeup and large wavy hair, stood with a wine glass beneath the stage. Sister, with her support, I could no longer hold back my tears, and they flowed freely. In the Montgomery family, there is only one Miss, and that is Luna. No one else could possibly fill that role. Even my biological father made his stance clear, yet my sister still insisted on taking me away. Once you've settled everything, come and pick up Luna. Our child has never had to endure such indignity. She was firm in her stance. With so many onlookers, it wasn't the time to create a scene, so I ended up going back with her as I had hoped. I left without a trace of reluctance. I've missed you so much, sis. I tended to draw out the word sis, making it sound sweet and whiny, as if I were cooing. I tried to hug her, but she pushed my head away to keep me at a distance. You reek of alcohol, you'll stain my clothes. She looked somewhat disgusted, and I pouted. Sorry sis, am I not your favorite little darling anymore? Yes, you are my most beloved little dwarf. She was tall, with her strides much longer than mine. I hurried to keep up, cheerfully following her away from the Montgomery house. Living with my sister was very comfortable. I urged my parents to come and take me home. Dad, I want to eat the braised pork rice you make. Mom, I want to sleep in your arms. They were tearfully emotional on the other end, while I used up 2 packs of tissues crying here. We can't go back home now. We need to clarify things with the Montgomery family. Make things clear, or they won't let go. My sister twirled her hair with a chopstick, her phoenix eyes slightly lifted, exuding charm, and I, with my round eyes, could only show pure simplicity. The next day, the Montgomery parents came to pick me up. I didn't want to return to the Montgomery home, but my sister agreed. You can take Luna back, but I won't allow anyone there to take her place or mistreat her. Also, whether she stays or leaves afterward, you must respect her decision. Agreed. My sister packed my things. They've been looking for you for many years. It hasn't been easy. If you want to stay, stay. If not, Mom, Dad, and I will take you back home. Don't let anyone bully you. No, I won't let anyone bully me. If they bully you, fight back. Our family isn't afraid of them. And remember, don't insult their mother. Okay, I ended up returning to the Montgomery home, where my brothers were even less welcoming than before. My younger brother, seeing me, just shook his head and went upstairs. Sonny, say hello to your sister. He didn't stop his steps. That kid, he's got a terrible temper. Luna, go upstairs and rest. Mama Montgomery held my hand and led me back to my room. Sonny was lingering outside my room but went back to his own when he saw us heading upstairs. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you would be so upset about Wendy's presence. She held my hand and apologized. Her hands were well maintained, soft and smooth, unlike my mother's. It's not her presence that bothers me, but the way she insulted my foster parents. In fact, they themselves hadn't noticed, but she and Wendy did bear some resemblance, at least more so than I did. I had once had hopes for this family, but they were shattered so quickly that I even doubted they had ever existed. The next morning, Sonny came looking for me, a teenager of about 17 or 18 with a streak of yellow in his hair, looking utterly rebellious. In my heart, Wendy is my sister. I moved my hand and slapped him across the face. His eyes involuntarily widened in shock. You hit me, go dye that yellow hair of yours back. How dare you sport the same hairstyle as my dear sweet Who are you to order me around? You're not worthy, my mom always said. If a child doesn't listen, it's usually because they've been spoiled. A spanking usually sets them straight. If not, then two might do the trick. I slapped him again, slipping through the gap before he could react. Luna. How dare you hit me? He covered his face, disbelief written all over him, pointing at me hysterically. Sonny, come down and eat. Look at yourself. As Baba Montgomery passed by downstairs, he looked at him and couldn't help feeling a bit frustrated. Luna, come have dinner. Ignore him. He's acting crazy every day. Seeing me come over, my brother immediately got up and left. Herman, you this. Before I could finish speaking, he was already out the door. He doesn't like me. It wasn't a question, but a statement. That's just how your brother is. Ignore him. Let's go out with mom for a bit. Sonny, covering his face, was sitting on the stairs, blocking my way. Apologize to me. Why, you hit me. That's just an elder sister teaching her younger brother a lesson. I'm not your brother. This time, before I could react, Baba Montgomery dragged him by the ear into the house. You little rascal. Itching for a beating, aren't you? I could already sense that peaceful days were over. Mama Montgomery only shopped at luxury stores, where the salespeople greeted her warmly, a sign she must be a regular. Mrs. Montgomery, this must be your second daughter. She really looks like you. Hearing this, Mama Montgomery's face turned a bit awkward. If I was the second daughter, it was clear who the eldest was. This is my daughter. The other one was just my goddaughter. She picked out a row of clothes for me to choose from. But I only chose a pink short-sleeved shirt. Do you like pink? My sister says I look good in pink. Mama Montgomery wasn't upset. Instead, she smiled warmly. Your sister is right. Besides them, no one else in this family showed me kindness. Luckily, I wasn't a timid girl raised to be submissive. My dad said I was a volcano that could erupt at any moment, calm on the surface, but possibly explosive at any time. So Sonny's antics successfully ignited this volcano within me. My parents are coming home late today. We're going to have a blast. Downstairs, his classmates were making a racket with loud music, fireworks, and noise that kept me from sleeping. I messaged Sonny to keep it down, but the message came back with a red exclamation mark. He had blocked me. Even covering my head with a blanket couldn't block out the noise. I kept telling myself, don't curse, don't curse. My sister said not to curse. When I went out, I ran into Herman, who loosened his tie. Looking exhausted, can you get Sonny to keep it down? He looked at me impatiently. If you think it's too loud, deal with it yourself. It seemed he really disliked me. I grabbed a badminton racket, initially wanting to grab a baseball bat, but I was afraid of actually hurting someone. Sonny, turn it off. He rolled his eyes at me and stuck out his tongue. I wasn't one to indulge him. With a slap, the speaker flew across the room, and it quieted down. Are you sick, Luna? A slap landed on his face, and he collapsed onto the sofa. You're not even a Montgomery. What right do you have to boss me around? I stepped on his face with my pink slippers. Save that talk for your parents. But if you keep me from sleeping, I'll break your legs. I had practiced with my grandfather for a few years, initially to keep fit, but now it came in handy to teach him a lesson. Glancing at the clock, it was nearly 10. Time for bed. Everyone go home, find your own moms, and leave now. The group rushed out the door without looking back. A chubby kid even bumped his head on the door frame but didn't dare delay. Guys, save me, save me. Nobody paid any attention to Sonny's cries. Clean this place up before 10:30 and then go to bed. Herman's room wasn't far from mine. He came out when he heard the noise, just as I was yawning on my way back to my room. What are you looking at? Go back to sleep. He didn't say anything, just glanced at the deformed racket in my hand and went back to his room. My sister always said not to let anyone push you around. If they do, push back. The next morning, I caught Sonny complaining about me. Tattling. Are we, Dad? She hit me yesterday. My dad made some unsavory remarks, but I just ignored it as if he was farting. Come on, a little fighting is normal. Don't be so dramatic. Mr. Montgomery unhappily pulled Sonny's clinging hand away. Luna, I'm going away on a business trip with your dad for a few days. If you need anything, just ask someone to handle it. Sonny, no bullying your sister. It's always her bullying me. Sonny was dissatisfied but couldn't do much. He couldn't win in a fight. When I went to find them, they were packing their bags. Luna, we'll be back in a few days. If anything comes up, your brother is here. He acts tough but is soft-hearted. Herman's heart seemed anything but soft to me. You could throw him into a crematorium, and his heart wouldn't melt. It was only after they left that I remembered what I wanted to ask them. Now it was just the three of us at home, along with a few housekeepers, aside from a few stray cats in the backyard. Sunny and Herman both ignored me. It seemed they were intentionally isolating me. This was my first time meeting my so-called grandmother. Her hair was silver, her face lined with wrinkles, her eyes and the corners of her mouth drooped downwards, and she looked at me with a cold gaze. "So you're Luna?" "Yes." "Did you drive Wendy out?" "Don't wrong a good person." "Humph, young lady, if you want to stay in this household, behave yourself, don't stir up trouble. If you want to be my granddaughter, you got a long way to go." "Old lady, why don't you come here every day to watch me? Otherwise I'm definitely going to stir up trouble." She tapped her cane on the floor, her face growing even longer with anger. "Showing no respect for your elders, huh? I can't understand how your foster parents raised you to be like this. You're rude and lack manners." I restrained my smile, remembering my mother's words to respect the elderly and cherish the young, a traditional Chinese virtue. "If you have nothing else, please leave." I had asked her to leave, but she stood her ground, unmoving. When Herman returned, the quick change in her expression was unbelievable. The previously aggressive old lady instantly transformed into a victim. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at Herman, who was nominally my older brother, and the perpetrator suddenly became the victim. "Herman, you're back. Grandma just wanted to see Luna, but she doesn't seem very welcoming." I couldn't believe this old lady was playing the victim. During dinner, I watched Herman and her play out a scene of loving grandmother and filial grandson, and I couldn't bear to interrupt. "Luna, try some shrimp. They're imported, and you probably haven't had them before. I don't know if you'll like them." Her smile deepened the wrinkles on her face. My grandmother doesn't like me, but she still puts on a loving facade in front of her beloved grandson. Am I so out of touch that I've never even eaten shrimp? Then you should eat more fish, at your age. Something softer, eat more, just to keep your mouth shut. When Baba Montgomery and Mama Montgomery came back, they noticed her change in expression. "She's not very popular, it seems." "Mom, you're here." "Yes, let's eat together." The old lady served Herman some food. "Has Luna been causing you any trouble?" "Grandma likes me so much. She's planning to buy me an apartment tomorrow." I took Mama Montgomery's hand and sat down. The old lady's face changed again, and she angrily threw her chopsticks. "When did I ever say that? You scammer." "Grandma, if you want to back out, just say it. Why scare me?" I hid behind Baba Montgomery. "Mom, you should go back after eating. You've scared Luna." I peeked out provocatively at her, thinking if being manipulative is hereditary, I surely know where I got it from. After dinner, I went to feed the cats, which I've grown quite familiar with, thinking about getting them neutered sometime. Sunny was there too, and when he saw me, he tried to leave, but I grabbed him by the collar and dragged him away. "What are you doing?" Unable to escape, he just waited obediently. "Why doesn't Herman like me?" I prepared the sheep milk and poured it into a bowl. "He doesn't like me either." Sunny looked disheartened, wanting to pet the tricolor cat, but it hissed at him, forcing him to retract his hand. "I'm an outsider, so it makes sense he doesn't like me. But why doesn't he like you?" The tricolor cat drank the milk and rubbed its head under my hand, seeking affection. "Our mom is his stepmother. His real mom divorced our dad a long time ago, and he was raised by grandma. It seems he only started living with us after I was born." The long-haired tabby cat lay on my slipper, squinting its eyes contentedly. "That explains it." The cats below scrambled towards me, vying for my affection. "So, he doesn't like anyone in the family." I contemplated. Indeed, he rarely showed a pleasant face to others. Why doesn't he move out then? I have no idea. Sunny tried to stealthily reach out for a pat again, but as expected, got rejected. "Why do they only like you, even though I've fed them too?" He was unhappy, pouting his lips, mimicking the small gestures I make when I'm angry. Sometimes, looking at his face, I have to admit the power of genes, of course, because I'm good looking. "So full of yourself, lately. My presence here has been very noticeable. The old lady comes every day, and I argue with her daily. Every day she arrives, the first half is spent picking on me, seeking discomfort. The second half, when Herman returns, she plays the loving grandmother. Today she accused me of being impolite and uneducated. I immediately knelt down, banging my head on the floor, crying as I said, "Grandma, please, I'm kneeling before you. Don't drive me away." "I'm kneeling, Grandma." I finally found my real parents. Please don't make me leave, don't exclude me. As I spoke, I rubbed my nose on her clothes. She was frightened and kicked me away, dodging to the side. Baba Montgomery had been watching from the doorway for a long time. With a stern face, he arranged for the driver to send the old lady away. From now on, just call us if you need anything. Please don't come here yourself. I just wanted to see my grandchildren. Her tone softened considerably, shaken by my actions. You want to tear apart my happy home. Mama Montgomery returned just as the old lady was reluctant to leave. After asking the housekeeper a few simple questions, Mama Montgomery approached with a dark face, fuming, please don't visit our home anymore. We barely got our child back. We don't want to lose her again. You're all such ungrateful creatures. The old lady trembled, pointing at each one of us present. Your father died early. I raised you, and this is how you treat me. When my dad passed away, I was nearly 30, already running the company. What were you raising? Baba Montgomery mercilessly tore down her facade. And Herman, I raised him. Why don't you mention how Herman's mom was driven away by you? This conversation dredged up many old grievances. And the old lady left with a face ashen with rage. I turned to go upstairs, but was stopped by a pair of tender arms embracing me. I'm sorry you had to endure this again. Mama Montgomery's tears soaked through my collar. I took a deep breath, holding back the tears in my eyes. It's okay, Luna. Would you like to go out with us and see our work? I would. I wanted to understand their lives. What life might have been like if I had never left. I followed them in the skyscrapers of New York, listening to them talk eloquently with others. I also visited their alma mater, Harvard. With them, it was as if we had never been apart for over 20 years. Our final stop was California. Baba Montgomery drove us along the coastline in a red vintage convertible. The evening sun bathed us in golden light. So this is how I would have lived if I had never left. California was our last stop, and before we left, I stood in front of the hotel window, overlooking the city. If you like it, we'll come back. Mama Montgomery packed the luggage, handing me a pair of large sunglasses. We returned home and watched the loving grandfather and grandchild in the house. Luna, go up and rest. As Baba Montgomery took the suitcase from me, my head throbbed with fatigue. You don't even say hello to your grandmother. We all knew exactly who that remark was for, but I ignored her, letting her cry and fuss on her own, playing the fool. It took me a full 2 days to recover from the jet lag. Herman was sitting on the sofa and started to rise as he saw me coming down. Mama Montgomery spoke coldly. Herman, you should move out. I had never seen her like this before. From the first time I met her, she had always been gentle and kind, with the distinct charm of a southern belle. My dad, the coffee cup adorned with gilded peonies fell onto the porcelain saucer, its crisp sound striking me like a small hammer. As I passed by Herman, his gaze pierced me like a knife. I lay on the small garden table, basking in the sun, while a few bold cats scampered around my feet. Why think about having him move out? Luna, this is your home. I won't allow anyone here to upset you or make you feel unwelcome. Her tone softened again, and as I looked into her eyes, so strikingly similar to mine, I marveled once more at the power of genetics, which had replicated her beautiful eyes onto my face. Besides, he's already in his 20s, it's time he moved out. He's only staying to cause us trouble. I treated him as my own, but that never warmed his heart. Sonny was attending university in the city, but on the day Herman moved out, he came back with his belongings. What are you doing back here? I realized I don't like economics. I've dropped out. He knelt on the floor as Mama Montgomery's slaps landed on his back. I hugged Mama Montgomery and handed her a baseball bat. Your hand must be tired. Use this. Seeing this, Sonny exploded in anger. I'm your own brother. She glanced at me, dropped the bat, and slumped onto the sofa, deflated. What do you want to study then? I haven't decided yet. The old lady's antics had escalated again. We had to attend her 70th birthday celebration, a gathering filled with notable individuals, dressed in a velvet green cheongsam and adorned with an expensive sapphire brooch. She greeted everyone with a beaming smile, except for me. It was almost as if she had the word annoyance written on her forehead. What are you doing here? Well, I'm here to celebrate another year of your life. Annoyed, she turned away to mingle with others. Throughout the event, it was clear to everyone that she disliked me, instead keeping Wendy close at her side, repeatedly emphasizing that Wendy was like a daughter to her. I didn't care much. Not insulting her was already a restraint on my part, however. Mama Montgomery couldn't stand it and decided to settle accounts after everyone had left. Who told you to kick Herman out? The old lady was preemptive, smashing a beautiful glass wine cup to the ground. That's his home. What right do you have to throw him out? His home. Has he ever treated it like one? He's only been a burden to us. Did we ever owe him anything? It was just that his nanny was dishonest. And we wanted to dismiss her. You two made such a scene about it, and as a result, Luna and I were separated for over 20 years. Isn't she back now? What more do you want? Turning the family upside down. It seemed she felt Mama Montgomery was making a fuss for nothing, showing no remorse for the decades of separation. Besides, I brought Wendy to you, and you've enjoyed a mother-daughter relationship. My daughter is not an object. She's irreplaceable. Wendy grew up an orphan. We took pity on her. But that's no reason for her to replace our daughter. Mama Montgomery argued heatedly. Her face flushed, and even Baba Montgomery looked displeased. I won't give all my shares to Herman, the majority will go to Luna and Sonny. His words were like a medical miracle, making the old lady forget she needed her walking stick. You promised me you'd give the company and the shares to Herman. Forget it. My shares were divided into 4 parts. He took one, and he shouldn't even dream of touching the rest. Walking out of the front door, I could still hear the curses thrown at me, but I walked away with my head held high. Old lady, you accuse us of being unfilial, but my grandfather once said, if the elders are not kind, they must allow their children to be unfilial. Ask yourself, have you ever shown a fraction of kindness to me and Sonny? You poured all your love into Herman and never shared any with us. How can you then expect us to be devoted to you? I saw her speechless, unsure of how to respond. Grandfather said that those who are unkind do not have the right to demand filial piety. I stepped out, turned back, and looked at the luxurious villa one last time. I probably will never come here again. In the last few days of December, even in the south, it started to feel cold. Sonny spent 2 days in the backyard clanging and banging around, and ended up making a cat house that looked more like a dilapidated shack. Sis, what do you want for a gift this year? I watched him paint the house number on the cat house with red paint, the numbers 202 crookedly applied. I wondered how things were back home. How many sausages were made this year, how many New Year goods were bought, and how much sauerkraut was prepared. I didn't answer him, I just wanted to go home. I called my dad, and he hoped I would stay here until after the new year before returning. Luna, my dear girl, your mom and dad miss you too, this new year. They've been waiting for over 20 years. We'll have more time together in the future. Dear girl, take good care of yourself. I spent this long-awaited new year with them. We didn't have many relatives at home, just us huddled in the room watching movies. The New Year's celebrations are lively in the Northeast with many relatives, keeping the festivities going from the beginning until the end of the year. Your mom and I have been thinking, after the new year, we'd like to formally visit your foster parents. Okay, sometimes, it's truly conflicting. I always think how easy it would be if they were unkind to me. I could leave everything here without looking back. But they are so good to me, they've become a part of me. I want to leave, but I can't bear to do so. The Northeast had heavy snow, causing many flights to be cancelled. The screen at the airport awash in red, after a 12-hour wait. The plane finally took off. At the airport, I immediately spotted those 2 familiar figures, dragging my heavy suitcase. I ran towards them. Oh, why are you dressed so lightly? My mom hugged me, unable to stop her heartache. When I left, it was still summer, and it's hard to find down jackets in stores in the South. Hello, we are the Montgomerys' parents. They shivered uncontrollably from the cold. Hello, oh, it's so cold. Let's go home. We had to take a roundabout subway ride home because the roads were impassable. In the early years, our family made some money and bought the house next door, knocking through to make it big enough for us. My mom fully embraced the Northeastern hospitality, taking them for stew in a cast iron pot during the day and for a full-service bathhouse experience in the evening. In just a few days, they were as close as sisters. My dad took Mr. Montgomery every day to his car repair shop to show off the cars he had modified. Where are we going? Take me with you. My mom was helping Mama Montgomery change her shoes, getting ready to head out. This is an adult's dinner. What's there for kids? Your grandpa will take you to the river in a bit. Sonny was eager to join in. Grandpa, he wants to come too. All right, come along then. Let's go. Grandpa will buy you some candied hawthorn, all the way. He pestered my grandpa to teach him northeastern Chinese dialect. Bright, people from the northeast are really bright. As this winter came to an end, it wasn't just me who stayed. Sonny did too. He wanted to learn how to repair cars, a young master deciding to apprentice at my dad's garage. There goes another son, Mama Montgomery said, watching Sonny, who was adamant about staying. But she wasn't upset. I drove them to the airport, and Mama Montgomery held my hand. I never understood why you wanted to come back, but this time I do. You have so much love here. I hugged her, nestled into her embrace, my first time being this close to her. We'll see each other again. Yes, we will. Before boarding, I hugged them both. Mom and Dad, have a safe trip. Sigh. I watched the plane become smaller in the sky, thinking back to when I first returned to that home, faced with those probing, somewhat curious gazes, always thinking they'd treat me poorly, giving me an excuse to leave. It would be best, like in the novels, where the adopted daughter is treated incredibly well, and I'm treated terribly. But having searched for their daughter for so many years, how could they bear to be even slightly unkind to her once she returned? 6 months later, Mama Montgomery came to the northeast again, pushing open the door to my little flower shop. The bell jingled softly, reminding me of a year ago, just like when Baba Montgomery did the same. In this half a year, Sonny had picked up fluent northeastern dialect, always calling my parents Mom and Dad along with me. He also learned to be more considerate. The fastest growth was in him. You're busy, don't mind me. She browsed around my little flower shop on her own. I'll be staying here for a while. Come help me look at some apartments. Stay at our place. Our house is big enough, and now with Sonny living with us, there are still a few empty rooms. I'll be coming often. Buying an apartment is more convenient. Okay. She sat on a high stool, her feet dangling. Your family is really nice. You can tell they truly care about you. She sounded a bit melancholic. After all, in that home, only the 3 of them cared for me. There, I received too little love. Others could quite possibly be described as detesting me. Yes, they are really good to me. I was seriously ill when I was a child, and for many years after. Every family member's birthday wish was for Luna to be safe and healthy. Even my youngest cousin, who was only 3 years old at the time, wished the same. My grandfather, a man who doesn't believe in gods or spirits, heard somewhere that a household guardian spirit could bring safety. So since then we started keeping one at home. My uncle once had a small car, secondhand, that he sold to pay for my medical treatment. My foster parents always pampered me like a child, afraid that if one day the heavens saw I wasn't doing well, they might take me back. I recounted each and every detail to her. We always thought, once you came back with better conditions at home, if it were an adult's choice, you would never go back. Your foster father said money couldn't keep you, and I didn't believe him. Money can't keep me, only genuine affection can. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, let's continue to see another similar moving story. During the year that I loved Simon the most, he died in a car accident. Everyone thought I would fall apart, but I neither cried nor made a scene. 2 years later, I unexpectedly ran into him in a private room, passionately kissing a young girl. His brothers hurriedly came up to explain to me. The car accident left Simon in a vegetative state. He has only just awakened and lost his memory. We didn't tell you because we didn't want you to be worried all the time. Simon pushed the girl away and came over to me, frowning as he said, I hear you're my fiancé. Although I don't remember, considering how much you've been thinking about me, I'll fulfill my promise to marry you. I just smiled slightly and said, they lied to you. We don't know each other. Simon didn't know that on the day of his supposed death, I had received a video. In the video, Simon was laughing with someone else. Just thinking about being married to only Mia after the wedding, I couldn't accept it. I'll fake my death and play around for a few more years, comfort her a bit, but don't let her get too desperate. He also didn't know that in the 2 years he died, I had been with other men. Our mutual friends were stunned for a moment, then began to persuade me, Mia, how can you say you don't know Simon? It was us who kept it from you. It has nothing to do with Simon. Yeah, Mia, we did it for your sake, afraid that you'd be worried sick. Now that Simon has finally woken up, please don't be petty. The room was filled with blame. Before I could speak, a scoff came first. Simon stood up from the couch, lazily holding a cigarette between his fingers, and said, if we don't know each other, then forget it. It saves me the trouble of having to care. The young girl by his side immediately clung to Simon's arm, shy and nervous. She looked up and said, "Brother Simon, I know you, and she doesn't appreciate you. I'm willing to marry you, okay?" Simon didn't speak, just glanced at me lightly, then wrapped his arm around the girl's waist and bent down to kiss her. Seeing this, our friends quickly blocked my view. They comforted me. "Mia, Simon has lost his memory, you know. He used to love you the most. Yeah, Mia, you should take more care of Simon. Help him remember you sooner, don't be upset." As I opened my mouth, about to say something to Simon's friends in front of me, a sudden pain in my stomach made me turn pale, and I quickly left the room. I moved so fast that the people inside barely had time to react. Once I was completely out of sight, they sighed towards Simon. "Simon, you've gone too far." Mia is really jealous and angry now. She turned pale. "Don't let her really leave you." Simon smirked and sat back on the couch. "Mia is easy to appease. I don't believe she doesn't miss me after 2 years. Besides, now that I've lost my memory, once I'm done playing, I'll just say I've regained my memory. Wasn't intentional before, no need to apologize. A beckon and she'll come back." After leaving the room, I couldn't hold it in anymore and collapsed on the ground. The pain in my stomach was overwhelming, draining me of the strength to even make it to the restroom. Just then, a shadow loomed over me. A familiar voice spoke. "So, are you heartbroken, thinking about rekindling the past?" I looked up to see Harry, arms crossed, leaning against the door frame. He gazed at me, a hint of indifference in his eyes, dressed entirely in black, with a high nose bridge and eyes hidden under the dim lighting. His emotions were unclear. Under the light, his thin lips appeared beautifully sculpted and sharp. In that moment, a sense of unjust accusation surged in my heart. Tears betrayed me. Falling uncontrollably, Harry panicked and quickly came over to me, putting his arm down. "Don't cry, I won't mention it again." He was well-built and strong. With one arm, he lifted me up from the ground. The scent of cedar filled my nostrils, stirring emotions. I instinctively wrapped my arms around his neck and said, "My stomach hurts." Harry paused slightly. "Did your period come early?" I nodded, and my lips unintentionally brushed against his chin as I rested my head on his broad shoulder. Harry carried me to the car and turned on the heater before saying, "Wait for me in the car, I'll go buy you some stuff." After he spoke, he closed the car door and walked away. The dim street light cast down from above, outlining his tall silhouette. Soon after, a video popped up. It was from Harry. "The brand you usually use is out of stock. Do any of these look good to you?" As I was about to choose, a familiar voice mixed with surprise came from the video. Simon, with his arm around a young girl's waist, walked into the store and looked Harry up and down, surprised. "I called you out for drinks tonight, and you didn't come. Turns out you're here buying stuff for a lady. Are you video calling her? Let me see. Who is this divine being that has finally enlightened our Mr. Harry?" Simon said as he tried to snatch Harry's phone. I instinctively moved my face away from the camera, but Simon never touched Harry's phone. Harry just glanced at him indifferently. And Simon withdrew his hand. All right, since you're so protective, remember to bring her out next time so we can meet her. By the way, Harry, I met Mia. She walked into the wrong box and saw me kissing another woman, scared me to death. But luckily my other brothers came up with a quick story that I had amnesia. I'll play around until I regain my memory. Of course, you helped me a lot, Harry, back when I wasn't done playing. You came up with the idea of faking my death. It worked so well." The phone screen shook, and the next second, the call was disconnected. Harry returned 10 minutes later. He didn't dare look at me, just handed me the things he bought and quickly got into the driver's seat, locking the car door. "I had someone send red date ginger tea to the house. Would you like to go back and drink it?" Harry's words were careful, almost cautious. It made me chuckle inadvertently. Harry was a well-known second generation in City B. He was also Simon's best friend. Whenever I went out to eat with Simon, Harry was always there. Back then, he was aloof towards me, especially when people around us teased us to show affection. He wouldn't even glance my way. He even mocked and disdained, so much so that everyone in that circle thought he hated me, until later. On the day of Simon's supposed fatal car accident, I received a video sent by Harry. In it, Simon was laughing with someone. "The thought of having only Mia after marriage is unbearable. I'll fake my death and play for a few more years. You guys comfort her, make sure she doesn't do anything foolish." but I never expected that this fake death was also Harry's idea. This man, Harry had barely set foot in his villa when he swept me up in his arms. After a trip to the bathroom, Harry placed me on the bed and handed me his phone to play games. Once I had finished my hot drink, he expertly removed his clothes, lay beside me, and began to gently massage my stomach. The light overhead, like a veil of gauze, softly illuminated his sculpted abs, every line telling a secret story that made one yearn to explore. And that's exactly what I thought, and what I did. Harry's gaze darkened, and he grabbed my wandering hand. "Behave," he said. I didn't listen. He grabbed the back of my head and pushed it down. 2 years had given him intimate knowledge of my body. At the height of our passion, he held my hand, his voice raspy. He said, "Help me." I knew all about Harry's stamina from the night I drunkenly slept with him. It wasn't until my wrist ached unbearably that he finally finished. Just as he was about to carry me to the bathroom, his phone on the bedside table rang. I accidentally pressed the answer button. "Harry, I'm planning to throw an engagement party with Lena, just to spite Mia. What do you think of that idea, seeing me alive and well?" "Mia hasn't come to check on me. She's just been jealous and angry, hasn't contacted me since. It seems she's gotten smarter over these 2 years. I need to torment her a bit, let her feel the pain of losing me again. I'm going to plan it. And then you." Simon's voice came through the phone, but he was cut off abruptly. I couldn't help but let out a gasp. Not because of Simon's words, but because something had stirred again. It even moved a few times in my hand. I glared at Harry, both annoyed and embarrassed. Simon's voice continued from the phone. He exclaimed, "Wow, Harry, what are you up to now? Having a woman there? Come on, is it the woman from today's video call?" 2 years had passed, and all I had done was make a sound. Over the years, Simon had been surrounded by many women, and he hadn't recognized my voice right away. Harry clearly had no intention of entertaining Simon, his eyes fixed on me, filled with emotion. I glared at him, struggled out of his arms, and crawled to the other side of the bed, but before I could get far, Harry grabbed my ankle and pulled me back. Simon continued, "Brother, you have to bring her out for me to see, to think you've finally blossomed. If you start flowering, I can't let you refuse the girls I introduced to you anymore. Oh, and about the engagement party. I originally wanted you to invite Mia for me, but considering you always disliked Mia." Simon's words were cut off as Harry, impatiently, hung up. He tossed the phone back on the bed and carried me single-handedly to the bathroom. When we came out again, it was 3 hours later. Harry looked satisfied, while I glared at him, lying on the bed, not wanting to engage. I picked up my phone and saw a message. It was from Simon's brother. 2 years ago, Simon had introduced me to all his circles. "Mia. Simon is getting engaged to someone else in 7 days. Please come and talk some sense into him. I don't want him to regret this when he recovers his memory." None of this was his intention. I glanced at the message and then deleted it, tossing the phone aside. I'm not the type to create unnecessary drama for myself. What does Simon's engagement have to do with me? When Harry reached out to hug me, I glared at him and quickly moved aside. I certainly don't want to continue this for another 3 or 4 hours. News that Simon wasn't dead and was getting engaged started spreading. Many friends came to ask me about it. Some expressed sympathy, some cursed Simon as a jerk, and others just enjoyed the drama. My college roommate Sarah called me, furiously denouncing Simon. "When I first heard Simon was alive, I was so happy for you. But then to hear he's getting engaged to someone else, that's just too much. Can amnesia really justify his betrayal? Aren't you his fiancé? Hasn't anyone told him that? No way. I can't let my best friend suffer this injustice. I'll find out where Simon is hosting his engagement party and help you vent." I laughed. Marriages can end in divorce. Engagements can be broken off. My relationship with him ended 2 years ago. What he does now has nothing to do with me. Sarah was still indignant. "I just can't swallow this pill. You waited for him for 2 years. I've watched you staying single." I was eating a cookie and almost choked. Who would wait for him for 2 years? It's just that my relationship with Harry isn't public yet. Sarah tried to persuade me to confront Simon with her, but I refused again, and she sighed. "All right, are you up for going out tonight? We haven't hung out in a long time. I'll treat you to drinks." With nothing better to do, I agreed. Sarah had picked the place. She arrived before me. Seeing the hotel in front of us, I was puzzled. "I thought we were going to a bar. Why are we at this hotel?" Sarah looked a bit evasive and pulled my arm to go inside. It's unsafe at the bar late at night. What if we get drunk and run into trouble? It's better to come to a nice hotel and enjoy some snacks, much more comfortable. Sarah led me inside. As the hotel lobby doors opened, my expression darkened. This was Simon's engagement venue, on stage. Simon was at the point of exchanging engagement rings. The girl opposite him was someone I had seen at the bar last time. The girl looked shyly at Simon. Simon, however, was frowning and kept glancing towards the hall entrance. When our eyes met, Simon paused, then his expression softened, and a smile appeared on his lips. The MC standing next to them asked, "Do you, the prospective groom, promise to be by the bride-to-be's side in every important moment of the future?" Simon glanced at me out of the corner of his eye, then his smile deepened. Of course, he slipped the ring onto Lena's hand, and the guests cheered, "Kiss her, kiss her." Lena's cheeks reddened further, but she tiptoed towards Simon. Simon didn't refuse and embraced her waist, kissing her passionately amid the cheers. I turned to look at Sarah, who looked evasive but still urged me, "Mia, you should go up there and take Simon back. He's your man." I didn't say anything, just quietly observed her. Sarah and I met in college, frequently attending classes and dining together. Even traveling during holidays, I truly regarded her as a friend. The doors of the hotel lobby had already been closed, and Simon's close friends were blocking the entrance. It was obvious whom they were blocking. "Mia, I just couldn't stand to see you treated like this. That's why I tricked you into coming here to vent your anger. I'll go up on stage now and avenge you." Sarah didn't look at me. Her steps hurried as she moved towards the stage. I stood still, calmly watching her. "Sarah, Lena. She's your cousin, right?" I remember Sarah mentioning her during our college days. She had a cousin. "Do you want me to make a scene and embarrass myself, to highlight her?" It seemed as though I had struck a nerve, and Sarah just stood there, dumbfounded. I scoffed, "That disgusting man. Just because your cousin treasures him like a gem doesn't mean everyone else does." I glanced around the room. There were many fine drinks, beverages, and pastries laid out, clearly. Someone had put in a lot of effort. Everyone wanted me here, and since I wasn't just going to stand around. I found a spot to sit down and started eating a pastry. As I ate, I looked around. Harry was on a business trip and wasn't here today. Sarah, now visibly upset, stormed up to me and accused, "Mia, how can you speak like that? You're just sour because you can't have what you want. My brother-in-law and my cousin have a great relationship. You're just jealous. And that's why you slander him." I was about to retort when suddenly a crying female voice interrupted. The engagement ceremony on stage had just ended, and Lena, unbeknownst to me, had approached. The moment our eyes met, she rushed over and grabbed my hands. "Miss Mia, please don't blame Simon. He's lost his memory and doesn't remember you. He only loves me now. It's not his fault. If you're upset, you can take out your anger on me, hit me, yell at me. I'll even kneel if it means you won't blame Simon." Lena's actions were swift, her hands tightly gripping my wrists, her nails digging into my flesh. The pain made me instinctively push her away. My push wasn't forceful, but she screamed and fell to the ground. The next second, I was harshly pushed aside. I was wearing high heels, and the shove made me lose my balance, twisting my ankle. The sharp pain almost brought tears to my eyes. Simon glared at me furiously. "Mia, you've gone too far. Who gave you the right to bully Lena at our engagement party? Do you think I don't exist?" Apologized to Lena. The guests in the hall, who had been watching since my arrival, now crowded around with a gossipy eagerness. Someone spoke up. "Miss Mia, you and Mr. Simon are history now. There's no relationship left. It's not right to make a scene at Mr. Simon and Miss Lena's engagement party." "Exactly, one must have self-awareness. He doesn't love you anymore, and persisting won't change anything. Besides, a melon forced off its vine is never sweet." Lena, now in Simon's arms, sobbed with reddened eyes. She gently tugged at his sleeve and said understandingly, "It's okay, Simon, I don't blame Miss Mia. It's normal for her to be upset and hurt seeing you with me. It's normal for her to hate me. As long as she doesn't blame you, it's not your fault," Simon told Lena, then turned to me with a cold face. "Mia, whatever our past was, it ended 2 years ago. Now I love Lena, and if you bully her, I won't let it slide. Apologize to her now." Out of sight from the others, Lena gave me a provocative smile. I returned a slight smile. "All right, I apologize." The next second, I slapped Lena across the face, after thinking it over and feeling it looked unbalanced. I slapped the other cheek to make it symmetrical. Lena screamed and began to cry. Simon, furious, lifted his hand to strike me, but his friends quickly intervened, holding him back. They whispered to him, "Don't go overboard, or it won't end well when you regain your memory." How could Lena ever compare to Mia? "Don't lose your senses." Simon seemed to want to say more, but one of his friends suddenly shouted, "Harry, you're back. Come quickly, Mia has twisted her ankle. You should take Mia home first." I turned towards the voice and saw Harry approaching from not far away. In the back seat of the car, Harry, with a stern face, took off my shoe and placed my foot on his lap. "Weren't you on a business trip? How come you're back? The work finished early. I saw the messages in the group chat that you were at Simon's engagement party." I knew about the group chat that Harry and his circle had. During the 2 years Simon pretended to be dead, he often shared his joyful life in that group. I glanced at Harry's clothes. He was still wearing the same outfit he had on during our video call in the morning. Knowing him, he would have changed into a fresh set after the flight landed. It seems he didn't even go home and came straight here. I was tricked by Sarah to go there. Lena is her cousin. I thought about it and decided to explain the whole situation to Harry. After all, this man, though silent, was not one to stop thinking about things. A wise man does not eat the grass that has grown back. Simon and I ended things 2 years ago. I wouldn't disrupt the wedding. Harry didn't say anything, but his expression relaxed considerably. He took me to the hospital, got my foot x-rayed. It wasn't too serious, but I was advised to rest and not walk around for a month. While I was getting the cast, Harry stepped out. Outside the hospital room, Harry stood in the corridor, listening to a call from his assistant, Mr. Harry. The collaboration between the Harry and Simon families has been cancelled. There are a few details still being sorted out at a faster pace, but Simon has called asking about you, saying he couldn't reach your phone. Harry responded coldly, "Ignore him." Understood. After the cast was done, Harry came back into the room and took me home. In the following days, fearing I might get bored, Harry stayed at home with me, not going anywhere. When it was time to remove the cast, he planned to call a family doctor, but I refused. Having not gone out for over a month, I wanted some fresh air and decided to go directly to the hospital. Getting out of the car, I felt I could walk, but Harry insisted on carrying me into the doctor's office. Unable to argue with him, I agreed, but the glances from people around made me feel a bit embarrassed, so I buried my head in Harry's chest. In a bar not far from the hospital, Simon was anxiously staring at his phone, continuously dialing a number, but nobody answered. His friends around him cautiously asked, "What's going on, Simon? How have you upset Harry? This seems to have blown up big time." Simon rubbed his temples. He didn't know what he had done to offend Harry, to the point that Harry had cut off all business ties with Simon's family, disregarding years of brotherhood. Could it be because of Mia, that day at the engagement party? Someone asked Harry to take Mia out. Harry has always disliked Mia. Could he be holding a grudge over that incident, affecting their relationship? That shouldn't be the case. Harry isn't someone to hold such petty grudges. Mia doesn't have the influence to affect his and Harry's relationship like that. Simon grew even more distressed. It reminded him of the early days of his entrepreneurship, facing rejections everywhere, feeling anxious and agitated, just like now. Mia had always been by his side, comforting him, reasoning with him, and helping him brainstorm solutions, unlike now, where Lena simply nagged at him to stop looking at his phone and to drink less alcohol. Beyond those 2 points, she hardly said anything else. Suddenly, he found himself missing Mia. As Simon was feeling irritable, a message suddenly popped up from a group chat. "Damn, guess who I saw on my way here? Isn't this Mia? Who's the guy she's with?" Simon opened the message and saw a photo taken at the entrance of a hospital. In the photo, Mia was being carried in a man's arms like a princess. It was a rainy day, the weather was gloomy, and the man's back was obscured by passers-by, making it difficult to identify him from the photo alone. However, Mia's profile was unmistakable. Simon was stunned on the spot. Then, scoffing, he smashed the glass he was holding. Her audacity grows. What is this? Did she deliberately find a man to make me jealous? Isn't she afraid that if I regain my memories, I'll find her tainted and leave her? His friends around him exchanged glances but dared not speak. After leaving the hospital, I was able to walk on my own. Just as I stepped out, my phone vibrated with a new message. I opened it. It was from a number that had been silent for 2 years. "Mia, I've regained my memory. I hadn't saved the name associated with this number, but it was one I used to know by heart. Harry saw the message too and instinctively squeezed my hand, as if afraid I would run off. I deleted the message expressionlessly, then turned to Harry with a smile. Harry, let's get married. After sending the message, Simon tossed his phone aside, closed his eyes, and smiled. He could imagine Mia seeing the message, probably overjoyed to the point of insanity. She would likely call him immediately, her voice quivering with tears, asking where he was and saying she wanted to come to him. Should he answer her first call, or give her a small punishment by waiting for her to call a second time before answering, to teach her a lesson for making him angry by finding another man? Simon decided to let her wait a bit even if she called. Thinking this, he picked up his phone again. Mia would surely be emotional and cry when she learned he had regained his memory and came to see him. He had bought the small cakes she used to like, to sweeten her up. After placing the order, Simon waited patiently, but even after the cake had been delivered, there was still no call from Mia. Simon frowned. What was this girl doing, not even seeing his message? He thought for a moment and dialed her number, but it said the call could not be connected. He waited another 15 minutes and tried again with the same result. A bad feeling started to grow in Simon's heart. He borrowed someone else's phone and called her. It connected immediately, the moment the call was answered. Before anyone could speak, Simon blurted out, "Mia, why did you block my number? Did you think I stopped using it after the accident 2 years ago? You didn't want to keep it because it was too painful to see, you silly girl. I'm still using it. Hurry up and release that number. By the way, did you see my text? I've regained my memory." Simon leaned back on the sofa, a smile on his face. He could already imagine Mia's excited voice when she heard this, but instead, a childish voice came from the other end. "Are you looking for my aunt? She's busy picking out a wedding dress." I never imagined Harry would move so quickly. No sooner had I finished speaking than he whisked me off to the bridal shop to start customizing a wedding dress. Then he quickly notified his family to start preparing the dowry, invitations, wedding chamber, and all the rest. After getting measured, I came out to see Cindy on the phone. Seeing me, Cindy ran over and handed me the phone. "Auntie, I'm sorry, someone called you." Cindy accidentally hit the answer button while playing games on your phone. "It wasn't on purpose." I glanced at the number. It was unfamiliar. A trembling, angry voice came from the phone. "Mia, you've gone too far." I was stunned. Then I understood, hung up the phone, and rubbed Cindy's little head. "It's okay, Cindy, you keep playing." Simon could never have imagined that when the call connected, he would hear such a thing. He couldn't believe it. Mia must have gotten a child to trick him. This was really getting out of hand. Simon rubbed his temples. Once he saw Mia, he was determined to give her a good spanking, to see if she would learn to restrain herself. This time, Simon decided not to call anymore. He wanted Mia to know that he could lose his temper too. She had taken things too far, and it made him angry. He called his friends around to drink, but none of them moved. The atmosphere was a bit odd, making Simon chuckle to himself. "What's the matter with you guys? Why aren't you drinking? Mia is just acting." "It's okay." When he called, Simon didn't shy away from his friends. He thought they were worried about him. "In an hour at most. When Mia sees I'm ignoring her, she'll definitely stop her little games and call me." After saying that, Simon smiled smugly and downed his drink. But his friends continued to look at him with strange expressions, until someone handed Simon a phone. Harry sent out wedding invitations. He's getting married, and the bride is. On the luxurious and ostentatious invitation, 2 names were written: groom, Harry; bride, Mia. Mia's name was before Harry's. The wedding was set for half a month later. That half month was incredibly busy. When I told Harry we should get married, it was because I felt he always lacked a sense of security. And I wanted to reassure him with those words, but I hadn't expected him to move so fast. On the wedding day, many people came. I saw many familiar faces. Friends who used to hang out with Harry and Simon came up to Harry and me with their glasses raised to congratulate us. Simon was there too. His eyes reddened. He stood below the stage, fists clenched so tightly that the glass he was holding shattered into fragments. Blood flowed down from his hands, and seeing this, I frowned deeply. Noticing me looking his way, Simon's eyes lit up. He glanced at his injured hand, and then his face showed a look of grievance. Seeing blood on such a festive day really brings bad luck. I looked away and said indifferently, causing Simon's face to turn pale instantly. The next second, the security escorted him out. The wedding ended 2 hours later. It was a really exhausting day. Harry and I returned home, but were stopped at the door. It was Simon. He seemed to have been waiting there for a long time. When he saw me, he rushed up trying to grab my hand, but Harry kicked him away. After getting up from the ground, Simon glared at Harry furiously. "Harry, you shameless man, Mia is my fiancée. What right do you have to steal her from me?" His face was filled with anger and pain, as if he had suffered a great betrayal. "I thought of you as a good brother, and this is how you treat me." Simon, crazed with anger, started cursing at Harry again. Harry frowned and was about to call security to remove Simon, but I stopped him. I shook my head at Harry, then walked over to Simon. A glimmer of hope appeared in Simon's eyes. "Mia," I raised my hand and slapped Simon across the face. This slap had been waiting since the time he pushed me at his engagement party. "Simon, whatever our relationship was in the past, it ended 2 years ago. Now, the person I love is Harry, and I won't let you bully him. Apologize to Harry now." Simon was stunned by my words. He should be familiar with them. After all, he had said something similar to me not long before. Simon paused, then quickly spoke. "Mia, I had lost my memory when I said those things. It wasn't really what I wanted. I've regained my memory now, and I've told Lena to leave. She won't bother us anymore." I smiled. "Really, Mia, believe me, it's true. After regaining my memory, I realized that I've always only loved you." Simon's acting was indeed impressive, even now. He was still putting on a show. Not wanting to waste more words on him, I took out my phone from my pocket. I played the video. The thought of being married to only Mia, I just couldn't accept it. "I'll fake my death and play around for a few more years. You guys comfort her, don't let her despair." As the video played, Simon's face grew increasingly pale. He shook his head at me, trying to defend himself. This is fake, not real. It's fabricated," I scoffed. "Simon, I'm not a 3-year-old child." Simon instinctively took a step back. His lips trembled, and he struggled to speak. "So, you knew about this 2 years ago?" I didn't want to deal with Simon anymore and turned to leave, but he grabbed my hand. "Mia, since you knew about this 2 years ago, why didn't you say something? If you had told me, I would have treated you well, and none of this would have happened." Simon's words truly disgusted me. How shameless does one have to be to say such a thing? Seeing Simon holding on to me, Harry's face darkened, and he kicked Simon away. Simon, clutching his stomach, got up from the ground and pointed at Harry. "It was all his idea to fake my death. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have faked my death, and we would have been married by now." "Mia, don't be deceived by Harry. He's a very cunning man." Harry held my hand tightly. Although I already knew about this incident, I had never discussed it with Harry, because I felt there was nothing to discuss. It was just a little trick he used to be with me. I held Harry's hand and walked towards home. Harry waved his hand, and the bodyguard quickly took Simon away. The next time I heard about Simon was 3 months later. This time, he really had died, reportedly in a car accident. Sarah sent me many messages, furiously accusing me of being heartless. "Mia, you heartless woman, do you know what kind of days Simon has been having? He's been in a bad mood, drinking, and fighting, all because of you. How could you hurt him like this? Now he's dead, died in a car accident while drunk. Are you happy now?" There were many other unbearable curses. I didn't look into it much. I simply handed the message over to the He family's lawyer, who then reported it to the police. Sarah was arrested and received a stern lesson in jail. She also now has a criminal record. I didn't pay much attention to these matters because I was busy choosing a honeymoon destination with Harry. Side story. Harry, when did I start liking Mia? It was during college. We attended the same university and I fell in love with her at first sight. Before meeting her, I had never thought that something as ridiculous as love at first sight could happen to me. But before I had the chance to express my feelings, I had to go abroad with my mentor for a project. After returning to my country, the next time I saw her, it was at a social drinking event. She had become my brother's girlfriend. I knew her, but she didn't know me. I still remember that day. She stood beside Simon with a tender smile, introducing herself. "Hello everyone, I am Simon's girlfriend, Mia." In that moment, I felt like I could easily give up on this brother of mine, but I couldn't. Because they were already engaged, Mia liked Simon too, and there was nothing I could do. It was my own fault. Knowing they liked each other, yet I tortured myself by attending every dinner where Mia was present. I suffered for an entire year, until the news came that they were preparing to marry, and I was ready to let go. But then, on the night before their wedding, during Simon's last bachelor party, Simon said he wasn't ready to settle down. I knew then, my opportunity had arrived. After hearing the story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.